Alright, seems to be okay now. That's annoying. I recorded about 15 minutes of no discernible, intelligible speech. I wonder if it's streamed at all. One thing that I did just off, it was off this stream, but I didn't close OBS. I just sort of hit stream again after the fact. And I didn't really pay that much attention. I was drawing for a few minutes, and then I realized like the levels on my mic setting, they weren't going up and down even though I was talking and stuff. And I was like, fuck, no audio. So stopped that, started again. I don't know if there's any other issues, but just doing a little quick bonus stream as I'm getting paid to work on one project, but they don't have any work for me. I am sliding this project into my desk so I can do something cool. Ugh, and tons of lag. Come on. This is no good. What can I do? Do I have to restart my computer? Let's tough it out a minute. Maybe it'll sort of self-correct. But that's unfortunate. It's gonna hamper my vibes. It's going okay now. Well, I hope the stream is working. Technical difficulties. I has them. By plussing up these frames, getting them to like a near rendered black and white illustration kind of quality, I'm hoping they will carry some impact when I post them. I do mean like on social media. There's my Instagram handle for this project at the top there, at study space studio space max, or study underscore studio underscore max. And what is one thing has been a roadblock for me, like posting updates to that, has been I'm trying to take the time to process the images through the Glaze app that exists to discourage people from using it to train AI. It's basically this watermarking kind of filter that sort of poisons the data or camouflages it in a way. And it's difficult for me to understand. But it certainly makes less utility for the those unscrupulous AI dudes who seem to chortle with glee at the idea that artists are losing their jobs or something like that. Not a hypothetical, very much is happening in my industry and in my circles. The concern about AI replacing what we do, the profession that we work so hard to get into and establish ourselves, is majorly under threat. And it's kind of a sad thing. But I'm going to do the least I can do, which is at least not help it along. And with that, the drawing images that I put up on social media for the past 6 months have all been glazed. But here's been the rub. The glaze process is slow, or at least was slow on my computer. It's a new software, it's new technology, it's not necessarily optimized, I think is how the discourse goes, but it's not great, given that I work in sequential media where you have lots of drawings. Even if they're not perfect drawings, there are lots of them. And if we don't have an efficient way of glazing lots of drawings, it becomes very cumbersome to feed that artwork into the system and expect any kind of useful outcome. Like, I tried to glaze a storyboard project, like, say it was 20 frames or so. It took like half a day. Like, am I doing this wrong? Are my settings weird? What should I be doing differently? Very much not clear what the answer is. But I noticed the other day that Glaze had a new version. So what I'm hoping is that when I do post these, that there will be some improvement in terms of rendering time being diminished, or the quality being so good that you forgive it. Or at least less errors. So I was running into all of that, having issues with the system crashing, or it didn't crash, but it yielded a very undesirable result, like something that just even as far as glaze went, looked like something you wouldn't want to post on the internet. So there's lots of room for improvement in that first version. That's the question, is this new version going to be better? I hope so. I will find out relatively soon. This rear leg is giving me trouble because I don't want it to appear too long and skinny. a little bit of a cheat. Let's move this back a bit. Feels harmless enough. Now we'll see this other toe. Nail at least. Feels a little bit better, like there's more power. Even though I'm being a bit indulgent with the anatomy and costuming here. What if it looks better? Quick save. Always save your work. Something that's bugging me here, and I'll fix it later, but there's too much sameness regarding right there. Nothing's clearly defined in the space, like which finger is overlapping which finger. I think I want it to feel like this finger, like there could be a procession of these knuckles so that they don't look like they're all just perfectly aligned in a row like little sardines in a can. Just make it look a little bit more intentional. And I'm going to double down on the thickness of this leg. Heels. Yeah, just put all this up more. Feeling like it could be right to do this. It may be that when I post these, if anybody even notices them, it could be the first time that particular person who is seeing it has seen any of my artwork before. And that could be, that's definitely been the case here on this project. This, I keep wanting to call it a podcast, though it isn't. The streaming project with Zelda and eventually other project. Other video game or other kinds of projects, personal projects or whatever, is a good opportunity for me to, in the face of so much uncertainty in the industry, at least showcase my skills and make it clear that there's way to go where you do this with AI, or you can you do it with AI and you get a really good looking image that feels like you accomplished something, but actually you haven't, and there's nothing, no real decisions have been made, you can't revise it the way you would normally be able to by an artist who made it from scratch. So let's make a case for doing it the old-fashioned way. But if you are trying to make that argument, you better not half-ass it either. So this is my attempt to do a decent job. Okay, that looks like a leg I don't hate anymore. I can imagine the lips on these moblins having a kind of form and texture akin to the kind of weird black lips that dogs have. Some animals have those, not all. Fine line thickness, not indiscriminately, very deliberately, where it needs to be in order to help the composition. This stream will go till 3 p.m. if all goes well. There's always a chance that my work contacts me with an emergency. That's actually my mission today, or my job today is to be on hand for such an emergency in the unlikely event that it happens. While I'm bored sitting around doing that, why don't I work on this? So that's what I'm doing. Not much a fan of this wimpy arm. I'm trying to not go too far away from the established design that we see in the corner there, but man, something got lost where, yeah, that's already feeling better. Just reinforcing that there are thick and thin ends to this weird Michelin Man armor. That this guy is wearing. Cuts, scratches, all sorts of little details. Can look good. Really bothersome to see the lag I was experiencing, and I didn't have a good explanation for what is causing it or what I can do to mitigate it. And just so it's clear, it's like lag in these brush strokes. Right now it's not happening, but for a while it was. But I had different things going. Like, I should probably restart my computer. I should make sure that, you know, before I ever start these streams, I got to make sure my Google Drive is set to not update, because it's going to hog system resources that way. Need a big old checklist, because I do eventually want to take this more seriously. Koopa shell lip detail on this. It's looking cool. Being so close up on the figure, though, really forces your hand. And on this kind of character, and hell, that's sort of the fun, is like, you know, generally these are simplified, cartoony, or video game type detailed expressions of these characters. They're simplified or low poly or 8-bit sprite, you know, renditions. Well, what is a real attempt to draw it for real kind of design look like? Human made, not AI. That might catch some eyes. If the right people see it, they might be able to recommend me on the Zelda project. And if I can do that, get a bit of attention for my skills as an artist and a storyboard artist, get noticed by whoever might be staffing up the production for the Zelda movie, I could have something that feels like a good career opportunity, and I would have manifested it, all with a little bit of inspiration and hard work and side hustle kind of. Something to be proud of if I could do that. And even if I didn't, well, I could say I gave it a shot, or didn't do nothing, which is kind of how I handle getting my normal day job gigs. I get a lot of referral just from the good work that I'm known to do. I don't draw this way at my work. Of course, this is far too nuanced and detailed. What I have to do in my day job is very fast drawing with almost no thought to quality control. There's no time. Here, though, I get to play director. Director, art director, cinematographer, everything. Oh, I got a spam bot. That's fun. Yes, I don't want I don't want your services. Can you ban yourself from my chat? So I'm sure it's just a robot, but possibly someone is listening and can hear me. But listen, Mr. Spammer, if you like Zelda, you should follow my stream. Or if you want to be an artist one day, you can learn about some digital drawing techniques. And I won't take offense. Okay, that's looking pretty decent. Probably need to have some kind of anatomy visible underneath. He's in such a low squat, and the camera angle is so intense, but let's change what I drew here. Okay, let's see. Let's do something about this. AG has this. AG has this SN. That's funny. Okay, let me see here. Timeout. Aghast this in. Let's see here. All right, everybody. Yeah. Don't go to Streamrise is what Aghast this says. And now you're going to be banned. Bye-bye. Boom. The power. Okay, this feels pretty good. Needs a lot more kind of like, compared to the rest of his outfit, like his rest, like, one thing I love that's gross is like snot and boogers. So like it can look like he's got like all these crusty boogers like attached to his nose. Or like this is his ear, right? So he's got like chunk, just poor little ear got mangled many times over. Take a bite out of this one. There we go. A lot less clean. And then, like later on, I'll add a couple little details like this right here. Like a little bit of hair. I don't want to overdo it now. I just don't want to forget that hair might be an important aspect of the illustration yet to come, and I might forget it. Most people don't look at stuff that closely, but a lot of people enjoy really delving into a complicated drawing and seeing those details, seeing what there is to see. So I can have something there for them. Sometimes the smallest things can add personality. So it's fun to experiment. Okay. I feel like it's done a good amount for now. Whatever I will do to it later, I want to do later. You don't want to just overwork things. We have 15 minutes left. Let's check out the next one, which is we can see this briefly. I mean, I could just leave these up. The guy in the background here is Armos, and he's one of those stone or metal statues that comes to life if you get too close to him. I'm a big Ray Harryhausen fan, at least from my youth. I used to watch those, Sinbad and the Golden Voyage or Jason and the Argonauts. Very cool scenes where giant statues can come to life and they can do battle. This is a character in that vein. And my design here is just basically trying to make this guy look amazing. Can I leave him up? Will he won't be visible there. If I stash him here, is that cumbersome? We can see him there. We won't need this guy. We can just delete this thing. Let's see here. Remove image. There. Gone. We can remove link too. Remove. Oh, shit. Okay. We'll see if this gives me any shit. I'm going to use light marks to start. What I want to imply is that, as we can see in this drawing, this is the rough drawing. The Moblin here is taking a swipe at the fairy that is zooming around. A fairy has buzzed by this Moblin in the foreground and is moving into the midground. And in the background is an Armos that is mostly just standing there stoically, not moving, not reacting. But I want a very subtle indication, if I can get it in there, that here the Armos can actually, like, out of the corner of his eye, spot the fairy. That will be a tricky thing to pull off, I think. And I don't know, like, should this thing have an expression? I want him to feel rigid. The reference here sort of indicates that he's made of rock. So that's kind of cool. Like he's sort of a golem. I might imply that there are those sorts of different forms that feel like they are describing clothes or armor or an outfit on him, but that's just part of the design or distraction, and what's really the whole thing is just sort of indicated as carved from one piece of rock. Incoming call from my wife. How surprising. Maybe I can text her off screen to make sure she actually needs to be contacting me. Let's try that. Wife, but she calls me too much, and she's calling me again. All right, I'm gonna call it a stream. Sorry everybody for the interruptions.